Today's sales strategy, Tom and Kristin's retirement planning. Hi everyone, I'm Steve Savant, host of the daily talk show, Let's Get Down to Business.
And I'm Don Prenz, Senior Advisor to InsMark.
Today's sales idea, we're talking about real people with real problems. Tom and Kristin Scott, age 45 and 35, with two daughters that are 10 and 8, and they wanted to send them through school, and we decided, well, they needed a term insurance to cover that time period while they were accumulating money, and we wanted to look at something else. Not only what we were going to put aside in the college years, but we also wanted to be able to figure out, hey, if we come back and deliver these policies, the term insurance to cover the college years and to fund a college education, could we do a better job by doing more of a comprehensive plan? And here's where we went. So let's walk through this a little bit. And of course, Don, when I'm looking at this, we ended up recommending $500,000 on 15-year term insurance coverage for each mom and dad, Tom and Kristin, and the premium was $600 for him, $400 for her. This actual explanation that we want to do today is based on analysis of could we do something greater in retirement evaluation. Talk a little bit about InsMark Wealthy and Wise Planning and why this could really be a way to, instead of just getting term policies, you're going to get a full comprehensive overall planning, maybe even some of the assets under management.
Yeah, this is a really great way of approaching wealth planning. And what happened was we have this couple who have two daughters, and they wanted to make sure that if both of them died, there would be enough money available to get the two girls started off in life, college and down payment on the first house and so on. And so we did that analysis. We did an educational needs analysis, and that was on a previous case. And again, as you said, that required about $500,000 of term insurance on both the husband and the wife. And that was fine. We had the premium, $600, $400 a year for the term insurance, no problem. We then came back and said, one of the things that we probably should look at is doing an overall wealth planning analysis, because while these term insurance policies will do the job, there might be some other things that we can do to improve the family's overall financial situation, not just with regard to death benefit, but also with regard to retirement planning and retirement income. And that's a great way to segue to working with the client to get their financial statement and their assets so you can plug those into InsMark's Wealthy and Wise and really do a comprehensive wealth planning analysis, which is what we're doing here.
Well, we're looking at a couple that's in the 35% tax bracket, and we're looking at a retirement age of 65 and 60 respectively because of their ages. Yes. Now remember, we did the term policy. Let's look at some of the ideas that we could do here. The premium right now they're paying is $600 in years 1 through 15 for Tom's term, and the premium of $400 for Kristin's term and policy. Could we do something a little bit different? Then we're looking at $30,000 a year with a 5% inflation adjustment for 4 years of college for both girls for graduate school starting in the 8th year. And Daisy, of course, I'm thinking about when you have children, you're just thinking about not only regular undergraduate, it sounds like now we're including graduate school now. So when you think about this, you have to think about not only your degree, your MBA has to go with it as well.
That's right.
And so they started gifting $50,000 to Daisy and Jody on each until they reached age 25 for personal use, down payment on a home like you suggested, investment, travel, whatever they want to do.
What we're trying to do is get a list of all of their current assets, types of assets, growth assumptions, and then we want to ask them how much money are we going to need for the college and the graduate school and so on. How much money needs to come out? In addition to that, how much money do Tom and Kristin want in retirement income? And we're plugging all of those things into Wealthy and Wise to do wealth planning over the next 30, 40, 50 years, assuming they live. So now we kind of see a summary of what's going on.
Well, Tom's got a 401k of $80,000, Kristin at $90,000. They're both making $7.5. And they have liquid assets, taxable assets of $50,000 at 3%, tax-exempt assets at $50,000 at 2%, equity assets at $185,000 at 6% growth with a 1.5 dividend. So they plan to add $20,000 a year to their equity positions that they already have. Some of the illiquid assets are resident, $350,000 with a $190,000 mortgage. They have personal property of about $100,000, depreciating at 5%, which Wealthy and Wise includes in its calculus. And then the expected post-retirement cash flow, Social Security for them, age 67. Now, before proceeding, this time is to ask Scott and Ken a very important question. Are there any other items that should be increased, reduced, or eliminated?
Yeah, and what you want to do here is you want to get the client's personal financial statement. You want to see all their assets, their liabilities. You want to then assume growth or if they're liquid or illiquid. You can plug all of that into Wealthy and Wise, and then it will project the wealth planning over into the future so you can see kind of what's going on, whether they have enough money to fund their retirement, fund the college. It'll show you all of that as a summary, and that's exactly what you're seeing here. What this is showing is based on their current assets and what they've told us their need for income is during retirement, how much they're going to contribute each year. You plug all of that into Wealthy and Wise, and what this is showing is that they can fund all of the income needs that they have for the daughters, the two daughters, and during their retirement. And out at age 100, they still have a net worth of approximately $6 million.
And that's as it is. But
That's
we're
right.
trying to say, well, since we're going to do comprehensive planning anyways, I'm wondering if there's a way to really improve that situation and give them even more than they thought they could have using the same dollars.
That's right. So what we did was we went into Wealthy and Wise and we used a cash value life insurance policy instead of the term insurance. And here we funded the same income needs, college, retirement income, all the way out. And instead of $6 million, by using cash value life insurance, the net worth increased to $10 million at the same age 100.
So we're really taking the same monies, the same fundamental issues. We're just actually changing the allocation model using Index Universal Life to be the substitute instead of what they were doing before.
Yeah, we're taking some of their assets and moving them from point A to point B being cash value life insurance. And here, this is a great comparison graph that Wealthy and Wise shows, where you can see strategy one is sort of the do-nothing plan, buy term insurance, kind of what they were thinking about when we talked about the college planning. Strategy two is using cash value life insurance, and here you can see they both pay out the same amount of income for college and for retirement, both about $10 million of after-tax income. But our plan, the net worth grows to $10 million, the current plan only $6.
Well, that disparity for the same amount of money, we're talking $4 million, and that's a huge amount.
It's not a mystery as to why the cash value policy is able to create that difference. It has to do with the tax-free accumulation, the tax-free distribution, and the way that the mortality costs are paid with pre-tax interest.
We're looking at the good news, bad news. I like this little conclusionary statement.
Sure.
The bad news is that you have to gather all the client's financial data. And people say, Steve, I don't like to do comprehensive. I have to get this information. Well, we're always creating better data collectors and really to make your life as easy as possible. But you're walking away with serious money if you don't learn how to do this. It's bad news, but it's kind of a good news because if you are able to start collecting this kind of information, you're going to be able to use Wealthy and Wise, and you're going to see an increase not only in your own assets under management, but you're going to take the same dollar for the client, and you're going to be able to improve their position markedly. We showed you from $6 million to $10 million.
I understand the perspective of that being bad news, that you have to get the client's assets, you have to ask them about their future need for income, retirement, and so on. The way I look at this is that if you can work with a client and really understand their assets and liquidity, understand their concerns for the future and their retirement income, you're in a much better position to be a trusted advisor to that family, not only this year, but every year thereafter. You're much more likely to get referrals for other business. It just puts you in a much better position to show the value of cash value life insurance than if you're simply showing it as a one-off transactional purchase.
Remember, we started this with just buying 2 term policies and funding college education. We took Wealthy and Wise, and it took us to a whole new level with the same dollars and improved the client situation dramatically. Today's sales idea is brought to you by Ash Brokerage, the practice enhancement company.
And by InsMark, the most widely used software when it comes to strategies and presentations using cash value life insurance.